Throwaway account. I still work in the same city, and I'm not trying to make my life harder. I did night dispatch for a tow company for a little over a year. Overnights are mostly drunk lockouts, dead batteries, and the occasional police impound. One Tuesday at 2:11 a.m., I get a call on our priority line. Caller ID says, City PD. Not unheard of, we're on a list. Guy on the line says, Officer Daniels, we need a quick tow. Disabled vehicle, shoulder, no lights. He gives me a highway marker and a cross street without hesitation. I ask for the case number. He says, I'll text it to you. We're short right now. Can you just roll someone? It's 2 a.m. and I'm alone in the office. I'm also half on autopilot, so I dispatch our nearest driver, Mark. Mark radios back. Copy, en route. 2 minutes later, the same officer calls again and says, make sure the driver kills his headlights when he gets close. We've got traffic backing up and people rubbernecking. That's not a normal instruction, but it's also not impossible. Some cops get weird about these scene control things, and I wasn't going to be the one to tell him that we weren't going to do it for him. I tell Mark, they want headlights off when you get close. Mark goes, that's dumb. Okay. 5 minutes later, our radio channel opens up, like Mark keyed his mic, except he didn't say anything. It's just noise, wind, footsteps on gravel. I say, Mark? No answer. Then, very faint, I hear a man's voice that isn't Mark. Low, close to the mic. Yeah, right here. Mark finally speaks, but it sounds wrong. Tight, like he's trying not to yell. He says, dispatch, call 911. And then something hits the mic. A thud. And I hear Mark's breath go fast, like he's running, and the line stays open. I'm already dialing 911 with one hand, but my brain is still trying to catch up like, this can't be happening. Then on the open radio, I hear someone else say, clear as day, phone, like they're searching him. I give 911 the location Mark was sent to. I tell them I think someone just set up an ambush using a fake police call. The dispatcher asks if I can call Mark's cell. I do. It rings twice, then voicemail. But on our open radio channel, I can hear movement. Doors opening, a vehicle idling, the kind of muffled voices you hear when people think nobody else is listening. Then the channel goes silent. Not ended, silent like someone set the mic down. For the next 10 minutes, I sat there staring at the radio like it was going to explain itself. Police found Mark about a quarter mile from where he had parked, hiding behind a sound barrier wall. He was shaken up, but not seriously hurt. He ran as soon as he realized it wasn't a legit scene. His truck was gone. Here's the part that messes with me. The City PD caller ID was spoofed. They confirmed that. But the voice on the priority line? Mark swears he recognized it, because it sounded like a real cop who had called us before. Either that guy's voice was recorded and reused, or someone studied it. After that night, I stopped trusting caller ID forever. I don't care what line it's on. I don't care who you claim you are. If you won't give me a case number, you're not sending my drivers anywhere. I used to do overnight cleaning in a downtown office building. Nothing spooky, just empty floors, vacuum lines, trash, bathrooms, repeat. I quit pretty suddenly because I got a better job. I turned in my badge to my supervisor in the usual way, dropped it in the lockbox at the supply closet, and signed the clipboard. 2 weeks later, I get an email from building security. Subject line, after hours access inquiry. They say my badge ID was used at 1:47 a.m. to enter a floor my cleaning crew didn't service. They wanted to clear up the discrepancy. At first, I thought it was an error. Then I realized, if they're emailing me, it means it's not just an error. I reply, politely, that I resigned, returned my badge, and haven't been in the building. They responded with a screenshot from their system. It had badge ID, timestamp, and access granted. I'm not going to post the screenshot because it has identifying info, but it looked legit. Now I'm panicking because I've seen enough news to know how this goes. Something gets stolen, and suddenly you're the last person on record. I call my supervisor. He doesn't answer. So I go to the building in person the next morning. Not to be a hero, just to not be the guy who ignores an email and ends up blamed. Security has me sit in the lobby while they pull footage. I'm thinking, good, easy, you'll see it's not me, and this is done. The security guy comes back and says, "It wasn't you." Then he adds, "But it was your badge." He shows me the clip. It's grainy lobby footage. A person in a hoodie comes in behind someone else, taps a badge, and gets the door. You can't see their face, you can't see the badge, but you can see the door unlock. The reason they're sure it's my badge is because the badge reader logged my ID number at that moment. I ask how that's possible if I returned it. Security guy says, very casually, if the badge sat in an unlocked lockbox for even an hour, it could have walked. I ask if anyone checked the lockbox. He says, that's on your employer. So now I'm calling my old supervisor again. Nothing. I call the cleaning company's main office, and they tell me cheerfully that my supervisor was terminated last week. I say, okay, where's the badge lockbox log? They say they can't find it. I ask if any equipment was missing. Long pause. Then the lady says, why are you asking that? Because at that point, I understood what was probably this. Not a ghost, not a glitch. Someone using stolen badges to walk into floors they shouldn't. Security tells me later a laptop cart was taken from that floor around the same time. So yeah, I was one email away from getting dragged into something I had nothing to do with. The part I still hate, the building security guy told me, you did the right thing coming in, but the tone he used made it clear a lot of people don't. I cover overnights at a warehouse sometimes. Not a security guard, more like floor watch. Big place, loud fans, a lot of blind corners. One night, the shipping lead asks me to keep an eye on the outbound staging area. There's been theft. Small stuff, high value. Around 3:30 a.m., I'm sitting by the monitors in the little office watching Doc 4. I see a pallet jack roll into frame. Nobody's on it. That's the first thing that hits me, like a weird detail that shouldn't matter. Then a guy walks in behind it, wearing a reflective vest. He looks exactly like everyone else in the building at 3 a.m. He goes straight to a shrink-wrapped pallet, slices the wrap, and starts pulling boxes off like he knows what he's grabbing. I stand up to radio it in. And that's when I notice the clock in the corner of the camera feed. It says 3:12 a.m., but my phone says 3:31. I look at the other camera feeds. Every single one has the exact same timestamp, 3:12. The video is moving. People are moving. Forklifts are moving, but it's not live. It's a recording playing on a loop. I don't know how long I'd been watching a replay, thinking it was real time. I sprint out to the floor, and by the time I get to outbound, the shrink wrap is cut and the pallet is half missing. The dock door is open a foot. And all I can think is, they knew where the camera office was. They knew somebody would be watching, so they gave us something to watch. I slam the dock door closed and hit the alarm button by the bay. A minute later, the actual live camera feed comes back because the system finally throws an error. Now the timestamp matches. And on the live feed, I see a guy in a reflective vest standing in the camera office doorway, looking at the monitors, looking at the loop, looking at the exact spot I'd been sitting. He doesn't run when he realizes the feed is live again. He just steps back out of frame like he's done with the room. Police didn't find anyone. They did find the network cabinet in a utility closet with the lock snapped, which is how the loop was probably injected. I quit that particular warehouse coverage after that, not because of one theft, because it meant whoever did it had access, time, and a plan, and I was just the person they were counting on to sit still. I'm a tech at a hospital and I work nights. I'm not going to get into my exact job because it's niche and I like paying rent. Night shift is weird in a boring way. Same hallways, dim lights, everyone whispering like the building is asleep. One night, around 1 a.m., I get a call light for a room number that isn't on my assignment list. Not unheard of. Sometimes assignments change and the board doesn't update. So I go. The room door is cracked open like someone pulled it shut without latching it. Inside, the lights are off, except the bathroom nightlight. The bed is made. No patient, no belongings, no IV pole. I assume I'm at the wrong room. Then the call light dings again, and the little panel by the bed blinks from inside the empty room. I step in and say, "Hi, can I help you?" Nothing. The bathroom door is closed. I'm not proud, but I stood there for a full few seconds, listening like an idiot. Hospitals have so many normal noises that your brain fills in the gaps. Then I hear it. A soft plastic click from the bathroom, like a latch. I back out and call for a nurse on the hallway phone. I'm not trying to sound dramatic because there's no polite way to say, "I think someone is in the bathroom of an empty room." The nurse meets me, opens the bathroom door, and there's a person standing in there. Not a staff, not a patient, a guy in regular clothes, pale, sweaty, holding a visitor badge that's been flipped backwards so you can't read it. He says, "Sorry, wrong room." Like that explains why he's in a bathroom in the dark at 1 a.m. The nurse tells him to step out. He doesn't. Security gets called. When the first guard arrives, the guy suddenly becomes cooperative, walks out, hands over the badge. The badge is from yesterday. Different name, different photo. He'd probably taken it from a trash can and put it on backwards. Security escorts him out and tells us later they found where he'd been hiding. An unlocked linen closet near the elevators. He'd been sleeping in there between rounds. The call light? He admitted he hid it on purpose because he wanted someone to come. He thought if a staff member came in, he could blend and walk out behind them. He almost did. I'm posting this because I keep thinking about how normal it felt right up until it didn't. No jump scare, no dramatic moment, just an empty room and a blinking light. I worked nights at a bus depot during college. Not driving, just gate shack stuff. Logging buses in, making sure the right vehicles went to the right base. A lot of it is paperwork, but the main job is, if something looks wrong, don't let it in. Around 2:40 a.m., I see a bus coming towards the yard entrance with its en route sign lit. That's normal. What wasn't normal is the sign. It didn't show a route number. It showed not in service. But like the older LED font, the kind that's only on a few buses. That bus wasn't scheduled to be out that night. It pulls up to the gate and stops perfectly on the sensor. The driver doesn't wave, doesn't key the radio, doesn't do the normal, "Hey, open up." I zoom the gate's camera in. The driver is wearing a hoodie, not a uniform. I grab the radio and say, "Identify." The driver looks straight at the shack, then looks away like he didn't hear me. I don't open the gate. He rolls forward a few inches, like he's testing if the arm will lift automatically. It doesn't. Then he does something that made my stomach drop. He backs up, turns the bus slightly, and points the headlights directly at the camera, washing the picture out, like he knew exactly where the camera was. I hit the silent alarm button we had under the desk. The bus sits there for another 10 seconds, then drives off slowly, like he's not in a hurry. Police found the bus 3 blocks away behind a closed tire shop. No driver. They checked the depot cameras later and realized what the play probably was. He wanted the gate opened so he could pull into the yard, disappear the bus among the others, and strip parts or siphon fuel. I never thought about stealing a bus as a crime until that night. It's a big thing, it shouldn't be easy. But at 2:40 a.m., with one tired college kid behind a gate arm, it almost was.
And that's the video. Thank you for watching, especially if you made it to the end. If any of those hit close to home, tell me your night shift story below. Take care of yourself, and I'll catch you in the next one.